my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So first of all, I want to give you just an update of my get it done sequence of things, because I have been enjoying a blank wall. Look at that, blank, 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 blank. There is nothing on it. I don't know why. Last night I took down whatever it was that was on it, and I just sat there and thought, this is just so peaceful. It's like I'm getting that group of things done. But I'm going to give you status because I'm not there yet, not totally there. But I did clear off, and I've swapped out the small baby lock machine. It'll go on the shelf in the other room, and to store it for now. And I put the Duchess, my featherweight, my new red featherweight that was just painted by Marie at Procinthian Sewing Machines, and refurbed by Jen at Sewing Machine Rehab. So yeah, look at that. Okay, she just looks gorgeous sitting there. And I will be sewing on her this weekend. That's why I was going to find something to sew on for the weekend. But the counter is clear. I do have the planner out, which, you know, I kind of mentally have to do that. I can't really put it away, so it's just the way life is. But there we go. I don't have those other stacks of stuff. What do I have left? I showed you that the mushroom, oh my stars, I want to go ahead and baste this. You know, not baste it. Yeah, right. Is that the right word? What's wrong with me? Yeah. Put the batting in it and baste it, and then quilt it with the wave stitch. And I want to do that after I do the binding on the critter quilt. So here's the critter quilt. It is ready. The hanging sleeve is on. It is glued. And I changed my mind on the binding. I showed you several bindings, and I thought the dark one or the green one, the dark gray or the green, would work. But I took some pictures after I did that video, and I liked the medium, I called it light gray, medium gray one. This is the grunge fabric. And so let me just show you a couple clips. Well, it turns out I took a photo with the dark, the green, and the lighter gray. I just went ahead and did the photo. And in the photo, it actually looked the best. The dark was too dark. The green was okay, but the gray, I think, will pull in a lot of the gray from here. And it's got a little bit of modeling. It's, you know, it's modeled like this. This is one of the grunge fabrics from Basic Gray. The grunge is the fabric line, like my, you know, my fabric lines like have a name. That's the name of this one. It's a basic called grunge. And yeah, I think that will be it. It will have to be it because it's cut. There's the sleeve. So I am ready to go. When doing your hanging sleeve, just check the direction again and again and again before you go, because I've done it. I've put it on like this, put this on upside down, which in the end, you know, once you've got it in the binding, it's a bear. It would be a bear to take it out. And so I don't want it upside down. Oh, there's a monkey on there. How cute. How cute. So I know this has to be folded under here on the bottom edge. And I luckily can see the fabric direction, the direction of the fabric while I'm pressing. So that's awesome. But sometimes it's not as clear. So just a note to double check. So this is next, and after that I still have to do the label for the critter quilt. I still have to do a nice label, put all the names on it, and then after the holiday mailings are all finished, it will go out to our ambassador Lylene, and then I'll tell you as soon as it arrives to her and the location where its new home will be, then we'll reveal and tell you about where that one will be located, which is not a school, so it's a different place. And it'll be very exciting. So this is on my list. Gotta like get the whole thing done. So there's still a bit of work to do on that. And then I will baste and quilt the Oh My Stars. When I have those two done, I do have these patches here for the Fat Quarter 4 patch. So that one will get next, and the drawing room, of course, is already is an ongoing quilt along. So for high tea, the high tea one. So I'm not so worried about those two. I really just get these other two done, and then I feel like whatever else I get done by the end of the year is just icing on the cake. I would like to do, I have never done the binding on my sweater weather. Yeah, that needs to be done. Totally needs to be done on the sweater weather, because it's blue and white, so it can go in my wintry quilt rotation for the blue and whites. Okay, we are going to go instead and talk about our, well, let me just talk about it here. Let me get cozy. Let me sit down and get cozy with you. We have a couple things for today that are our why can't I think of the word? Why can't I think of the word? I keep wanting to say challenge for the day. It's celebrations, daily celebrations. Okay, it is Wear Your Pearls Day. So I have my scarf has circles on it, so I consider that my pearls for today. I have two sets of pearls. One, the freshwater, like the little long ones, is a couple strands, and then a single strand of round pearls. But I didn't get them out. So Pearl Day. So what can you do? Pearls come from the sea. Yes, I asked the ambassadors, what can we have people share to be Wear Your Pearl Day? So if you have ocean type, sea creature quilts, let's see those. There are great panels I know that are out there, so some of you may have done those, so those would be great. The other thing would be is if you have fancy dress, like something fancy hats, quilts of fancy hats or gloves or clothing, something that you would wear your pearls with. So there you go. There's some options for sharing quilts today. It is also tea day, so if you're a big tea drinker, cheers to you. And with that tea, be sure you have a cupcake. It is cupcake day. Cupcakes are so fun. They're so cute, and you can eat like the whole little cupcake and just feel like, that was just nice. And the last thing, it is Ugly Sweater Day. The official Ugly Sweater Day, I guess. It's a Friday. It's close to Christmas. I guess that's what we do. I don't have any ugly sweaters personally, but I probably should. But I do have the pillow I made with this pattern. This sweater pattern is free. I cannot find my pillow. I'll find it eventually. I went looking and I just gave up. But my pillow is just one block. At the time they made this, I used the fabric line that they had because it looked like kind of a Nordic sweater. But it's a super cute pattern. It's free, so you can go download it. The link is in the description box below. All right, we are going to, let me just show. Yeah, we're going to go to the other side, and I'm going to cut out the bag, and we're going to sew the bag for the crow fabric. So the pattern that we're making is from the Spell It with Moda, and the pattern is from Sew Luxe, and so it's all together with the alphabet and Sew Luxe's directions, their company directions first, and then all the pattern pieces for the blocks and a diagram. There's a diagram for some piece blocks, which there's the alphabet and then the piece blocks. So here's mine with the crow fabric that I bought quite a long time ago for my friend to make something for her, and this is it. I'm going to make her a bag. She will like that in the pink crow fabric. Okay, so I did that block last Wednesday, and Kendall did his whole bag on his video. So you can go to his video. It's linked in the description box. Kendall Taylor. He did it in the most adorable Australian Christmas fabric. So cute, so cute. And of course, he's got really funky Christmas glasses on, which you got to go see. Kendall is fun. You got to go watch his videos. He sews the whole thing step by step. You can see the whole thing. I am just, going to do the parts here. The parts. Okay, so I have to cut out the sections, and at this point, I'm just, it's just cutting some rectangles and stuff. So let me get the parts cut out, and then I'll look at construction. I'm working with directional fabric, which means I have to make a little bit adjustment to this, because how they wrote the pattern is that this is the exterior and here would be the piece block, and then instead of having another frame, like 4 sides, what they did was use the long piece. They made this piece longer, and it would be part of the bottom. So when you fold it, the fold line would be here. Well, that means I will have crows upside down on this lower part. Does that matter? I mean, they need to be right side, facing right side up, so that when that turns, the crows would be right side up like this. But when they're wrapped around this other part here, they would be upside down. See this part here? If it was wrapped to the bottom, like the bats are upside down, the crow tails are upside down. And so I need to cut my pieces exactly, and I need to cut the backing and make that seam. So I just have to figure out what that's needed. I think they're 14. So it's a 14-inch square is kind of what we're dealing with, I think. So let me just go figure out what that is off camera, and then I'll be back. So I don't ever do anything simple, do I? Oh, no, let's make a block instead of a monogram letter. It'll be easy. It'll be fun. Let's use this directional fabric. Okay, after a little math, let's go. Let's go. Go. Here we have it. I have done the math. So if you're doing one of the blocks, which is 8 inches, we will be having the same 3.5-inch strip on either side, but it's by 8.5 instead of what the pattern has. And then on the top, I'm doing a 3.5 by 15.5, and the bottom is 4.5 by 15.5, all to get me a 14 by 15 block. 14.5 across, 15.5 down, because that is half of the lining. The lining is cut 14.5 by 30.5. Half of 30 is tick tock, 15. So each of my squares, the back square and the front square of the outside of the bag, have to be 14 across, 15 down, which I've got right there. So I've got all the math done for the frame around the 8-inch square. See, I've got the 8-inch square, and I've even cut this one already to get it ready. Okay, I want to show you one thing about the directional fabric, because the pattern is written so that the back of the bag, the outside of the bag, the back wraps around the front. And when you have directional fabric, that is just going to make part of your images upside down on the front, or all of the back with the images upside down. Either way is not good, in my opinion. I don't want upside down things. So here is, I have the lining, it's not cut, it's final cut yet, but this is about the size of the lining. So if this were the outside of the bag and I were to just fold it in half, which is basically what is happening there, since you're wrapping it, you would have one side the crows go the correct direction. The other side, the crows are all upside down. It's like, no. Can I have that? No. So what I have to do is make 2 units for both the lining and for the outside of the bag. So I will have my block cut. I will have the block 14 by 15, 14.5, 15 down, and then I will do a backing piece, another backing piece with the crows, so I can have the crows facing the right way on the outside of the bag. For the lining, I will make 2 pieces, 14.5 by 15.5, so that I can have crows facing up, because I'm in all crows here. I'm all crows. We're gonna have crows on the outside, crows on the inside, because I got this piece of crow fabric, and what else am I going to use it for? I'll still have some left over, but I may just send it to her. Here, and you get the leftover fabric too. I have to keep a piece for myself, right? I'm gonna have to put it in something. So I will cut all the pieces and show them to you. First, the front and the back of the lining, because no patchwork. I've got crows facing opposite directions. I will do a seam like this, and then when they're inside the bag, I can have crows at the top and crows at the top. So here are all the parts around the block. So the block is floating in the pinkness, the crow pinkness. So the top, the bottom, which is a little bit wider, and then the 2 sides. I did recut. I cut the first strip. I just sort of cut it, and then for the top, because the bottom is wider. So, but the crows were going to get like their heads cut off, and I thought, you know, that just is really not what I want at the top of the bag, is half of a, you know, no full crow. So I had to redo that. So this will just get cut in for my pink scraps, the 2.5-inch squares. I'll cut in 2.5-inch squares. So I have that, and then I cut the back of the outside of the bag. So this is the outside of the back, which I can position so my crows are facing up, which is wonderful. So at this point, I have to decide, do I want to quilt it or not? Now, when you watch Kendall's, he didn't quilt his, and I don't think the bags that I've shown you prior that were made by Solux, I don't think they quilted theirs. They may have quilted some of them, but I'm thinking I'm going to quilt this just to see how it feels, how the body of it is. Also, I need to do the little strip that the cord will run through, and so I'm going to do that in this black. And it's, what about maybe that? It's not very big, something like that. But I think that black will look good. And it's not the black that I used in the star, it's one of the other ones. So she'll have all 3 of the drawing room blacks in this project. Okay, so oh, and how much is left? This is how much crow fabric is left, unless I make some kind of mistake here, but I won't make a mistake. So when I'm cutting, when I'm going to quilt, I'm going to quilt just the front of the panels, not with the backing, with the back of the bag. Did I say that right? Yeah. So the back of the bag, the outside of the bag will be quilted, but the lining, there's the right word, the lining will not be quilted. So I'm going to first sew this block and be right back. So first, this is the lining. So the 2 parts are sewn together so that the crows face up and the crows face up. So see, both sides facing up. And I have a seam down there. So that worked out perfect. And that's what you have to do if you want them, you know, directional fabrics going the same way. Here is the star. And now I am going to do no backing, just 2 layers. I'm going to quilt through 2 layers. The top, which is the outside of the bag, and the batting. So I have some batting scraps here, which are kind of pitiful at the moment. I don't really have that many bigger ones. Okay, 1 piece here. And then I have to decide, do I piece the other one or just go cut some more batting? Okay, so you want to see what's going on, I imagine. So here we go. So there is 1 piece, and there's no backing on it, because it is going to be it's going to be the lining. There's going to be the lining of the bag, and so that will be enough. I don't want to have 4 layers. The lining will be soft, and I don't have any seams then. See, the lining is going to cover the seams, and so if I were to quilt it like this with the lining, then there would be seams. Okay, so I could do 1 of 2 things. I could go ahead and just sew these 2 together, which is probably what I will do. So I will sew them. Whoops, that's the top. Put it like this. Do not sew the wrong way. So I would have to have one whole length rather than 2. Sew my back of the bag. Remember, the crows go opposite ways, and then I'll have another piece of batting rather back here and quilt it. So I'm just going to go ahead and quilt it, and then I'll show you. Here are all the batting pieces sewn together so that I can use them. I know, I'm being frugal. You know, but it works, and it's just a little bag, and it's just for fun. There are 2 different battings. Yes, there are, and that doesn't matter because they have about the same weight. I mean, I can feel them. The white one's a little bit thinner, but when I put it in a bag, it is just not going to matter. And I get to use up these scraps, which makes me very, very happy. And so it is long enough. It's a little wide, so I'll just trim off this stuff over here because I don't need to have that bulk to work with. I could even make it a little bit, you know, it's a little bit long here. So anyway, then I will just do a wave stitch, you know, down, down, down. And this is the outside of the bag. The front and the back of the outside of the bag, and there is no backing, so that will get a little bit linty in the machine. I will have to clean it afterwards, but not that bad. And I'm going to just do the wave stitch. On my Solaris Vision, the wave stitch is stitch 19, 219. It's on the second level, and here you can see how the wave is open. So like if I were to click the length longer, it'll elongate between it back to what I had, 1.8. If I go where I'm up to go the other, see how it goes squishy like that? That's not good. That will make everything pucker and all that. You don't want that. I find that this works best for me with the thinner batting. That 1.8 is my length, and then the width is 6. So you can, adjust that. You can see that. That's as high as it goes. But I have it, pretty wide at 6. Otherwise, it starts to stretch out, and it's almost a straight stitch. So I find this one works best. What I've done is just lay this on top. Your cotton fabric and a batting that's even a blend, they kind of stick to each other, and with something this small, I don't see any reason to take the time to baste it. I mean, you certainly can baste it, that'd probably be the safest thing to do, but I just lay it on top, and here's what it looks like. So there, I'm just quilting it through the top and the batting. That way I'd eliminate one whole layer of fabric, so it makes the bag a little bit less bulky when I assemble it. And so I will just wave stitch this entire piece, go all the way across, and then it'll be ready to assemble. It is quilted. It's all quilted the whole way across with the wave, and here is what the back looks like. So you can see, and I used, actually it wasn't pink, it's actually a light peach that worked really well. I just happened to have it out. Let's see, here it is. Got it as one with the plastic still on it, but this is the color that I used. And you can see, like, if you put the whole spool on there, it looks really too light, but when you put one strand, it just works really, really well. Okay, so people will ask, I know you will ask, particularly those of you who are massively detailed, you'll be like, oh, isn't this lumpy? And it's say, like, if I know where it is, I can run my hand here, and yes, I can feel like a little bit of a ridge. If this were a quilt and it was washed, that would almost go away. In the bag, with wear, it'll probably sort of compress down a little bit more. I put the seams lower on the bag so that no seams are right at the top edges of the bag, and that's where you're handling it the most. So for me, it's worth being frugal and using up pieces of batting, and I know my friend will appreciate that so much. Okay, don't forget that today is the last day. If you want an Oliso iron, the big size like this, they are $30 off with my link and my coupon code. Okay, thank you, my friends. Thank you so much for being here this week and joining me on my quilting adventures, meeting the Duchess, my red featherweight that came back, and thank you, so many of you were so supportive of me wanting to do that with the sewing machine, and I really, really appreciate that. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Oh, wait. I'll finish this on Monday. We'll do the last part. Sorry about that. Hey, you know what? You can't fit it all in. I just talk too much. Okay, so I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.